I have always cherished Beethoven's last words, spoken on his deathbed. Plaudite, amici, commedia finita est. Applaud, my friends. The comedy is over. This kind of blunt honesty only comes from people facing their final moments. The masks drop, the posturing stops, and what's left is pure truth. Steve Jobs was diagnosed with terminal cancer in October 2003. Remarkably, he lived for another 8 years, during which he became deeply reflective, increasingly conscious of his legacy and of life's meaning in ways he had never been before. In the address he gave at the Stanford commencement in 2005, he told the graduating class and their families, "You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward." He didn't say it explicitly, but his words came from a deep awareness of his own mortality. The message was clear. He was looking back on his life, taking stock and seeing patterns that only become clear near the end. When death feels real, clarity follows. Jobs also talked to the Stanford students about his failure, about being fired from the company he started, and about death itself. Looking back, his speech feels less like a graduation talk and more like a final message. It wasn't about money or material things, but about meaning. Some things in life matter, others don't. Some things are just noise, others have real substance. History is full of moments like this, when great figures, as their lives are coming to a close, suddenly see what really matters. Near the end of his life, Thomas Jefferson wrote to his beloved daughter, Martha Jefferson Randolph, "The last pang of life is in parting from you." What worried him most about death wasn't losing power or fame, but the pain of being without those he loved. When all is said and done, relationships with our loved ones are what really matter, and our career or achievements pale into insignificance by comparison. Sir Isaac Newton expressed something similar, though in a different way, as he looked back on his incredible life. Newton, whose discoveries changed how we see the universe, spoke with great humility. "I do not know what I may seem to the world, but as to myself, I seem to have been only like a boy playing on the seashore and diverting myself now and then in finding a smoother pebble or a prettier shell than ordinary, whilst the great ocean of truth lay all undiscovered before me." Even after a lifetime of achievement, he didn't focus on his success. Instead, he saw clearly how much was still unknown and how even greatness can feel small when you look at life's bigger picture. This is the emotional and moral setting at the start of Parshat Vayechi, which holds the Torah's great final conversation. Jacob is dying and he knows it. In his last moments, he gathers his children and speaks to them, not as a nostalgic father looking back, but as someone who truly understands who they are and what each one needs to hear. If we expect deathbed speeches to be warm and fuzzy, Jacob's version of one will come as a surprise, as a disappointment. Some of his words are blessings, but others are more like rebukes. Reuven is reminded he didn't reach his potential. Shimon and Levi are called out for their violence. Yehuda is elevated to family leadership, but is also reminded that this role comes with responsibility, not privilege. This isn't a feel-good speech. It's a speech that values truth over comfort. And that's exactly the lesson of Jacob's last words. Legacy isn't about saying nice things, but about saying what's needed. Jacob isn't focused on how his sons feel right now. He cares about who they will become after he's gone and how his words will echo through their lives and future generations. Which brings us to today's world, where we tend to focus more on our image while we're alive and often don't think about how we'll be remembered. Social media in particular has taught us to always project an image that's curated and perfect in the here and now, with no thought about the long-term impact. Everything is about appearances and how things are seen in the moment. We tell our own stories as they happen, believing that if we control how things look, we can control the outcome. Vayechi breaks that illusion. Jacob reveals something uncomfortable. You can't write your own legacy. He is brutally honest with his sons, and in doing so, he also faces his own role as a father. He doesn't hide the truth. He points out their patterns, their tendencies, their choices, not to shame them, but to help them see both their strength and their weaknesses. Take responsibility and grow into the best version of themselves. Vayechi is honest, but it is not hopeless. Yaakov doesn't say, this is who you are and you can't change. He says, this is who you have been. Now choose what to do with it. Steve Jobs ended his Stanford speech with the famous line, stay hungry, stay foolish. But the line before is even more telling. He called death life's change agent, the force that clears away what doesn't matter to make room for what does. The message is clear. It's better to let that kind of clarity shape our lives now, instead of waiting until the end. Vayechi teaches this lesson. When we reflect honestly, death doesn't matter, doesn't make life smaller, it makes it sharper. It removes pretense and leaves us with what really matters. Seeing our lives from a distance can be cleansing. The key is to live that way now, so we won't need to revise it later. It's an idea that finds a moving expression in Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. Frankl describes a woman who was his patient, reflecting on her life, a life that was shaped by suffering and sacrifice as she cared for a severely disabled son. Viewing her life as if from its end, she concludes, through tears, that it was not a failure. On the contrary, it was filled with meaning. The pain had turned her life into one of love and responsibility. Frankl's point is devastatingly simple. When life is seen through the lens of its conclusion, meaning often emerges where none had been visible before. Steve Jobs was right. You can only connect the dots of a life by looking back. But Parshat Vayechi shows us we don't have to wait until the end to start that process. Jacob connects the dots for his sons while he's still alive, but more importantly, while they all still have many years to live. The challenge he gives us is simple. Live now in a way that will make sense later when we look back, because when the full story is told, the dots will connect, whether we like the picture or not. The only thing we really control is how we choose to draw them from the start.